All right, guys. So today we got one of our favorite members, Cold. Is it Coldnorse?
Coldnorse, yeah.
Coldnorse. Yeah, he's been in our group for quite a bit now. Finally got to 25. So we're gonna be typing him today, guys. Coldnorse, man. How did you get into typology? And yeah.
Yeah, I think I got into this shit like in like high school, so that's like a long time ago. It's kind of been like an on and off thing in my life. Um, yeah. Um, yeah. So it pretty much happened. I pretty much get back into typology whenever I feel like I've gotten I don't understand how people work anymore, which is usually just because I'm lonely. So it's like a 2 year cycle. It's like every 2 years off and on, I get back in it, I get back off of it, you know.
So what have you learned, man?
Um, well, I've learned I'm bad at typing myself. Well, yeah. I thought I was a INTP. Now I think I'm an ENTP. I don't really know though. That's why I'm here. So maybe I'll get a outside source for that shit. Um, oh shit, my camera's all fucked up. Motherfucker. Here, give me a second. All right, hopefully that fixes it.
Okay, what do you think are your best skills?
My best skills, just my ability to learn quickly. That would be the biggest one. I can adapt to whatever I'm put into.
Mm-hmm. That's it, man. How did you get that ability, or like how did you
Uh,
find it?
how did I get it?
Like, how did you hone it? Like, when
How
did
did
you
I
know
hone it?
you
Well,
had
I
it?
feel I feel like I just I learn something and then by learning that I learn how to learn things and then it's kind of like a snowball rolling down the hill as I pick up more little baubles and skills and crap. It just gets I just learn how to do it more efficiently over time.
Um, could you give any like help for somebody trying to learn quicker?
Um, I mean, just focus on like the small stuff first. A lot of times when you try to learn something, that people will tell you like the stuff they learned as they were gaining mastery of something, and that's just not important. Like 99 times out of 10, like you don't need to know that stuff yet. You need to learn how to like walk, you know, learn how to crawl, and like they're telling you how to run, like, technique wise. Like you don't need that yet. You need to learn how to do the very small stuff first and then you can work your way up to all. I mean, that information is good to have because I mean, sometimes that's stuff like a pitfall they ran into on their way to getting mastery. That's good stuff. But like the optimization that takes your like 99% to 100 is like you don't need that shit. You're at like 4%, bro. Go get like that 10% stuff.
Hmm. Um, what do you want to be remembered for as a person?
Remembered?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I'm not really big on being remembered. I want to be remembered by my family if I ever get to have one. Right? I would just I just don't want to be remembered. I don't want to be remembered as someone who's just like a drain on their community and like a layabout. That's something I fear is just you know letting my baser just sloth just take over me and just do nothing all my life because I've seen the fact through COVID that I can definitely do that shit. I can just sit there and do nothing and be fine with it, which is not good. It's not good for me. It's not good for my friends and shit. So I want to avoid doing that more than anything.
Um, how do you go about learning something new?
How do I go about learning something new? Well, first I have to be interested in it. If I'm not interested in something, well, if I'm interested in something, it just kind of happens, right? I'll just research it. I'll do it. It's a quick process, honestly. If I'm not interested in something, I really have to like buckle down. And it's pretty much the same process. It just takes 10 times the effort. How do I
Hmm.
learn something new? Yeah. It's a lot of research though. It's a lot of just like uh Googling stuff. And then like with stuff that I can like implement myself. It's really nice because I'll learn it and then I'll take that stuff and I'll try it and if it works then I'm good and otherwise I have to go start over again and
Hmm.
you know
Hmm. So how do you know if the information you're getting is accurate?
If it works, just like the implementation, me implementing it myself functions, and that's good information. Otherwise, it's bungus. Yeah, you can sometimes tell with like conceptual stuff if it's like if it already fits into my like framework, then it's probably good. But otherwise, if I can try and make it work somehow, information wise, like put it into something and see if it functions, then that's the best way. Otherwise, it has to fit in the pre-constructed box, or I have to destroy my box because the new information is right and my old box is wrong and I have to throw it away.
Hmm. Okay. What's the best piece of advice you've learned?
Excuse me,
Best piece of advice you've learned.
best piece of advice I learned. I don't like answering questions about the best X. It's like there's so much good advice I've heard in my life. Let me just think of I don't know. Okay, so the first thing that came to my mind was don't sweat the small stuff, which I don't know if that perfectly applies to me, but I think it does. Especially with like relationships, I will get lost in stuff that really doesn't matter. Um, and that has bitten me in the ass before. Or and then okay, now thinking about that in that context, I also do the opposite shit where I get so like I don't know, like above like over layer on stuff. I just forget all the small details and then I screw myself there too. So best, yeah, advice. There's a lot of good advice. I can't think of anything in particular right now, to be honest, though.
Okay. What is your driving motivation?
Ooh, I don't know. Feels like momentum right now, man. That's the thing I've been st honestly, my driving motivation is finding something that I think is worth dying for. Because I feel like if I find something worth dying for, then it'll just make the decision making process I have to do to like make myself happy much easier. That's like been the biggest problem for my young adult life is just figuring out like what are the things that are actually valuable? Because I have no goddamn fucking clue. Uh, uh, like, yeah, I don't know. That's a really tough question. That is a really tough question.
Okay. 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 Um, what do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years, man?
Uh, Graduate, get a job, have a family. That's what I want. Will that happen? Well, I gotta keep working, but that would be the ideal. I don't really care where I work. I don't really even care what degree I have. I just, need to do the shit to get the money so I can have a family. That's pretty much what I want. Um,
What's the big importance for family? Why so much on family?
I don't know. I don't know. I was raised in a really nice family. I feel like I like kids. I I don't know. I felt like I have a little brother, right? And in certain points of my life, I felt paternal about him, like I want to protect him and shit. And I feel better about myself when I act like that towards others. So I feel like having and being able to raise a kid would be a very fulfilling experience in general. Also, I think I make a good father, so I feel like I'd be denying the world if I didn't, raise a kid or two.
Okay. What would be the worst job for you?
The worst job for me, would be anything that would remain the same, like mentally for a long time. Like I can do a menial job for a while. I worked at a warehouse for like 2 years, but that was pretty much my limit, right? Because I pretty much figured out how to do everything as best as I could without just like actually selling myself to the company for no good reason, right? So. Yeah, I could probably do anything for about 2 to 3 years, and then after that, it would have to be something that like within the job itself, the task is changing or the you know there's new problems to solve or something. Because once I've solved all the problems or like optimized everything to the best of my ability, there's like nothing left for me. I just can't I can't like maintain motivation like that anymore.
Dude,
So
you too young to be saying you can't maintain motivation.
yeah, that's a big thing in my life, man. So you know.
Yeah, man, you like the fucking hair, dude. You like the fucking hair. It's hilarious, man. Okay, okay. What would be a dream job for you?
Dream job? Someone just pays me not to work. No, it's not a job, bro. Right. Dream job, it's probably going to be some sort of computer science, something. Again, I really don't care. As long as it's something that I'm sitting there and I'm solving new problems every couple months and probably working with a couple of other people at least, I'm good. I'm I'll do anything, you know? I don't really mind. But I'm studying computer science right now, so that's probably where I'd end up. So something like that. Something like that. Something that involves some creativity and some other people. That would be big too. So implementing the stuff I've learned with other people to build something. But like, with my brain because my hands don't work so good.
Yeah, yeah. Um, hmm. If money was no longer an issue, what would you do? What would be life for you? Goodness.
What if money was no longer an issue? That's like it's an interesting question. It's like ch completely changing the mental framework of the game we all play. What would I do differently? I mean, based on what I did in COVID, I would sit inside and play video games all the time. But I think I'd probably right now I'd probably just spend a lot more time meeting people all the time instead of just trying to gain skills. 'Cause currently most of my time is spent around, learning shit. And I probably would still do a bunch of that. Probably I'd learn less useful things, but I would definitely spend more time meeting people than I do right now. I probably arguably should be doing that right now, but I would feel like given that it like in a situation where money is no longer required, I would feel like it was more justified to spend more time meeting people all the time. Uh if I didn't have to consider the fact that, in like 5 years where am I going to be doing that? So given that, I probably just spend more time with people in general.
Yeah. Hmm. Okay. Let's see. Um, if you were given three wishes, what would you wish for and why?
Obviously I'd wish for more wishes and
Can't do that.
that's necessary. No, oh, what do you mean? So there goes one wish. I wasted one. No. I don't know. This is definitely a question that changes based on how I'm feeling right now. Um I'd probably go back and like give my younger self some advice. I think that would be very nice. Okay, just like give myself like a letter. I probably wouldn't read it because I mean, fucking teenage me is a dumbass.
Mhm.
But I feel like it would give me some solace to be able to be like, well, at least I tried. Um, three, two. I mean, money. It's just have money. Not have to worry about it anymore. That would be awesome. And then probably like selfishly just like be able to live forever just to see how humanity plays out. I think it would be very interesting to see how this all ends. I mean, it would suck because then I'd just be like the last person
Mhm.
alive, but I get to see the end of the show, so I don't just get to stuck sitting here watching season like what are we on 2020 something. I want to see how this ends, so that would be cool.
I watched a pretty cool TV show on that one time, and the guy had to keep reinventing his identity because if you don't, then like people like stick your ass into like a lab or something.
Yeah, exactly.
So the guy like kept reinventing his identity, and he would meet this guy, I guess this what you would call angelic force every 100 years, and like the angel thought that he'd be ready to fucking die. I guess maybe the angel would have fuck thought he'd be ready to die sooner, and he was like, "Nah,
Yeah.
man, I'm loving this shit, man. You in another hundred
Right,
years, motherfucker."
right.
It's like
Yeah.
that's crazy.
So you just get to reinvent yourself every like 40 years.
I just, I
If
just
you get past everyone dying around you, it's a nice time.
if you can, but you gotta also like figure out like the looks that you're gonna pull off. You gotta figure out like how you gotta like change your
Oh
identity,
yeah, yeah. You got to
the
adapt to
whole
like the
process.
different cultural circumstances that are going to change every like 50 years, like entirely different.
And then
It's a lot. It's a lot of work at the end of the
Mhm.
day, but I think it would be I think it would be very fun to do that, honestly. Just like fucking readapt to a different culture every 50 years and have it actually mean something because you're not going to die in the next 10.
Yeah.
That would be it would be cool.
Yeah, and I mean, and then what about the kids? You know, you'd have kids and
Yeah, that's another problem though. That would probably be the main thing that would stop me from doing that is like, you have to watch your kids die over and over again.
hmm
That's got to be rough.
well,
You probably just choose not to after like doing it twice, but
you probably
you
just
know,
not give a fuck. I'd probably be
right.
so detached from it.
Right?
I
Yeah,
would, me
probably.
personally, I'd be so
Especially after like year
detached.
200, right? Like you've done this like two times now already. It's like, nah, I'm over
Man,
it.
the kids be like, "There's no love here." Like it's already no love already, but
It's
yeah,
like,
it's
bro,
interesting.
we going out to get milk. Bye bye.
Um, how do you spend your weekday?
Weekday. Um, I study. I play video games. I right now we just got a dog, so I'm spending a good like 2 to 4 hours every day just making sure it doesn't piss on the floor. That's fun. I love that thing though, so it's worth it. Um, yeah. Probably on average I go to class for like 2 to 3 hours. So there's that. Yeah.
What about weekends?
Weekends, the same minus all the studying classes. A lot more time with my family too. Especially when my brother comes home. Um, I need to go out more. I don't go out enough. I very easily just stay at my house all day long and don't do anything other than just like learn shit and
How you keep
play
your
video games.
attention?
How do I
How do you what do you do for to keep your attention?
keep my attention?
hmm
Um, Again, just like looking up shit online is very interesting to me. Like I can legit spend a good like if I'm just like being a goblin, I can just spend like 5 hours like Googling stuff and just like running down rabbit holes and stuff. Um, Another thing about me, right? So like if you were to open up my Steam library, bro, I'm like one of those people who's got like 40 games with less than like 10 hours in them. So like a lot of the time I actually yeah, some of the best games I've ever played. Um, I'll play them for like 6 hours straight till like 4 a.m. and then never pick them up again. And that's like a great time. That is a great time. I feel like playing them again would like tarnish that one experience I had with it. So I just don't. Um, so yeah, my attention I wouldn't call my attention span fleeting because I'm not like I can like sit down and read a book, you know?
hmm
So but it's not long. It's not long. Especially if I decide once I decide something's boring, it's that's it. Like I'm not doing that for fun anymore. Unless someone shows me another way it can be interesting. It's cooked.
Um, what do you dislike about people?
What do I dislike about people?
hmm
Um, for a long time I thought everybody but me was an idiot. I don't think that anymore. But there's a lot of there's still I still think there's a lot of people who make overly emotional decisions. Um, and I really don't understand that, so I don't like it. You know, I mean, there's a time and a place for those decisions, and I could probably learn from those people, honestly. But that would probably be the most annoying thing. That and just like doing things for the sake of them, like just like I we do this tradition because we've done it forever. Unanalyzed to me is like that's also really annoying. So it's like following shit without thinking about why and following your emotions without thinking about why. A lot of I guess it would just be a lack of introspection, bro. People just like live their life without thinking about why they're doing it or how they're doing it or anything like that. They just kind of go ahead and do it. That works for some people though, so To me, it just doesn't make sense.
All righty, man. We are done, man.
All right.
We got you down. We got you pegged here. This is a fun one.
We'll get to see the red board.
All
Yay.
right, man. So, got you as an ENTP.
Okay.
Um, One of the things that started off very hilarious is the on and off thing in my life. So I just hit that for like starter progression, dude. Like it's on and off, on and off, on and off, right?
Yep. Yep.
Everything's on and off.
The sine wave.
Yeah. It's like a 2 year cycle. So I hit that for any SI, like any in the cycle. Then you talked about the snowball rolling down the hill on learning, right? That's a progression mindset. And then you talked about people need to focus on the small stuff first. Progression, breaking things down into steps, progression. Um, then you talked about like new information if it fits inside of your framework, that you know it's correct, or if it's actually great information and it wasn't part of your framework, then you got to deconstruct the framework. That's a TI approach there. Um, your driving force seems to be momentum. That's some progression shit, man. That's some progression shit. Shit. You seem to not know what's valuable. You said, you're struggling with that. So I hit that for FI trickster. There's no FI there with you. So that's the reason why you're struggling with that. Um, you felt better when you were like taking care of your brother, right? Hit that for FE. You feel good about taking care of others more than yourself. So generally speaking, you care more about outside harmony. You talk a lot about optimization and implementation. I hit those words for systematic. You say you got 40 games less than 10 hours. I just hit that for starter shit, bro. That's for
Yeah,
starter shit.
100%.
Uh, you don't go back because you don't want to tarnish the experience, your SI experience, that you probably don't even know if it's correct or not because it's inferior. Um,
Yep.
I thought everyone but me was an idiot, so I hit that for T critic. It's a T critic. Um, so
That one's poisonous. That one's so poisonous.
yeah, as they say, the critic is one of the nastiest parts of the personality. So I hit you for a T critic. So if people are watching, that's called a thinking critic, right? Um, and you said following shit or emotions without thinking about the why. And you just can't do that. That's TI. So therefore, by process of elimination, all this collectively put together lands you right at ENTP.
Can't
Uh,
say I'm surprised, but yeah, cool. It's good to know. Good to have someone else who actually knows what the fuck they're talking about confirm it, you know.
yeah, and I think it's more normalizing, dude. I think it's normalizing.
Normalizing? Okay. I was
Yeah,
gonna ask that next, so
yeah, because you're talking about family and shit. Like that's your main focus, man. You're not like, oh, I gotta be like, you know, creating all this. You're not like you seem to be a little bit better with SI, not as crazy as like the creative ENTPs.
yeah.
Not harm. I don't think you're like super harmonizing. I think normalizing fits you pretty damn well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Any questions, man?
Nah, man. That was sick. Thank you.
All right, man. Well, guys, this Coldnorse here, man. One of our ENTPs. You guys know I love ENTPs. Um,
I
all
wait,
right.
wait, wait, wait. I do have a question. What would be just like one piece of advice based on that conversation you give to me?
Oh man, I always say the best piece of advice is the hair trick with ENTPs, right?
The what?
The hair, like the
Okay.
color of the hair. ENTPs are the hair. Like there's nobody who can learn information just as fast as them, implementing them and like doing shit. The only problem is they get bored, dude. So like you got to remember, like mastery comes from doing something for a long period of time, right?
Okay.
So that's gonna be one of your biggest like things that you're gonna have to worry about. Like there should be
Yeah.
a light bulb that go off in your head when you're like, man, I want to quit this and start something else. You should be thinking, oh shit, like a big picture of me should pop up in the back of your head, like, no, like no,
We know where that goes. There's
yeah,
another light bulb behind that one, bro.
yeah. I mean, because a lot of times you can wake up at 40 and not have done anything, so you gotta watch, make sure that because unfortunately, man, this life is not a video game. Like when it's
No, it's not.
over, it's
As
it's
much as I want it to be, it's not.
it's over. There's no redos. There's no save
No,
points.
no,
There's no none of that shit.
you get
So
once.
And you'll find out the world's pretty ruthless on mistakes.
Oh
So
yeah.
try to limit
Yep.
those as much as you can. I would also say like, ENTPs and ENFPs, find you a normal job, do your NE on the side. If the
Yeah.
NE works, then you quit your job. I always say that shit. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. I saw that in the ENTP video. I thought that was really good.
Yeah, yeah. Do not just like
Just send the any.
don't do it. Don't do it, And plus, it also takes the stress off you, right?
Yeah.
Takes the
Yeah.
stress off of you, and you won't be worried about doing some FI trickster type shit, like taking advantage of people.
Oh yeah.
That's what ends up getting ENTPs the
The bad rap. Yeah,
bad
because
rap.
we just don't care. We'll just go ahead and do it if we feel like we need to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then they're not willing to listen to other people's experience. It'll become, well, I had to do this. This is the experience. That
Yeah.
this is what the world wanted me to be, wanted me to do. This is what the world wanted me to be. Instead of like looking at like, okay, I made bad choices here, and this landed me into this choice, and then I had to make these other bad choices to overcompensate the bad choices.
Yeah. Keeping like the locus of control outside of yourself when that's just not the case. Yeah.
That should have come back to bite you, man. Because a lot of times, man, that reputation goes far, man.
Oh yeah.
Reputation
Yeah,
goes
that's
far.
something I learned in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit'll
But,
come it'll find you eventually. It doesn't really
mhm,
matter. Like you do
mhm.
something, someone's gonna tell somebody else, and then everybody
Because
knows.
the thing about reputation is, with negative experiences, people don't forget negative experiences. Like if you look at the positive, you can do a whole bunch of positive shit, but negative experiences travel far and
Oh
fast.
yeah. Yep.
So, a lot of ENTPs you'll see got like burning trash. This is how I imagine, like a lot of ENTPs that don't understand that have like burning trash, like just following you, right? And then they
Yeah.
try to go from person to person to person.
People smell that shit, bro, even before they see it.
And then before
100%.
you know it, nobody wants to deal with you. And now like you're hating life, and now you're suffering, right?
hmm hmm
Then you feeling this SED and want to burn everything down
Yep.
when it
That's
was
the best spot.
all your choices. So very important to do. And just notice, man, like you got like very high potential, man. ENTP is like
People keep telling me that.
out of the 16 personality types, man, probably the one with the most potential, right? Um, just needs to lock in, man. Just needs to lock in and be dedicated to something and focus. Yeah, that's all I would say, man.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, Coldnorse, man. See
See
you
ya.
later, brother. All right.